Do you have any questions?
Pull up a chair, sit on the floor. We'll tell you a story never heard before.
How many tins do you have?
So, as you can see right now, we've got about, I would say about 12 tents to camp here. This is just, what you doing, darling? This is a mix of Johnston and Guilford County Militia, Courthouse Militia. And so yeah, how many people do you think would sleep in one of those tents?
2.
2? What's 2 times 3?
6.
How many they put in there? They're already going crossways.
6 people are assigned to a tent. And usually you have about 4 people sleeping in there at a time. You know, because 2 people have to be out cutting wood or doing guard duty or anything like that.
Well, Johnston and Guilford.
But yeah, so 6 men about.
Or the Gilston. I mean,
I'm just Johnston.
You know, would be sleeping in a tent.
Johnston.
Probably about like this one right here.
You're just not with it because you can't pronounce it. Yeah.
How many supplies do you have?
Well, that's a good question too.
What was the question?
Supplies. I want you to answer that one, Braxton. How much supplies do we have?
Enough to make it through the weekend. No more, no less.
So when you're looking at that out on your own, doing your own militia stuff, you know, you're going to hope that you're getting supplies brought into you, but usually it's left up to you to forage for what you need. So, you know,
the state's going to try and supply you.
Right.
If you're under state orders, the state's going to try and supply you.
Right, but a lot of the times the state is try. So keyword in that is try. So, you know.
Well, you know, the funny thing about it is, you think about it, the state tried to supply the militia in the 1700s and really didn't do a good job. And if you've noticed, over the past 250, 300 years, the state still hasn't come up to par.
But yeah, so
technology's outpacing the revenue.
Militiamen were, you know, everyday
citizen soldiers.
You know, everyday citizens, and they, you know, so a lot of them were farmers. You know, knew the woods.
My business is shut down right now because I'm not at home.
Right.
In my carpenter shop, and so I'm by being out here, I'm actually losing money.
Right. And I'm a farmer by trade, so I can't plow my fields, and I can't.
Well, the frost ain't come in yet, so you can't plow anyway.
Yeah, well, if this keeps up any longer, I won't be able to put anything out. So, but you know, so you see how, you know, important it was. Yeah, how.
Shane, what is it that you do when you're not militia?
Merchant.
Yeah. You seem like one of those people.
So you see in comparison to how like well dressed he is compared to me. You know,
Rick, what are you?
He's got his nice overcoat. He's got his nice cute little hat.
You make candles?
His scarf and everything. His walking stick. And then you see me. I've got on my, you know, the boots. You know, 1 pair of stockings, maybe 2.
Tom, he's a basket weaver.
So everybody's going to be different,
one who
and that includes
took basket
like,
weaving and did something with it.
But he's not underwater.
At the beginning of the war, from people that, you know, either raiding armories, that they were like raiding British supply camps or stuff like that, stealing guns from them, and then turning around and using them against the, you know, the British. So this weapon is a smoothbore weapon. So if you step right here and look at the side, you see how, don't look right down the barrel, but you see on the side of it, like right there, how there's no grooves or anything. It's just straight smooth down, like a pipe. So that's why it's called a smoothbore, because there is no rifling in there in comparison to this. In comparison to this weapon that does have rifling, I'll show it to you. This is a rifle. So these are all fire locks. They're flint and steel. And then, you know, you cock this, and this is a piece of flint right there. Then on your frizzen, strikes frizzen and creates spark, hits the powder in your pan, and then the powder in the barrel goes out. So there's a very specific way to handle one of these weapons as well. You have a manual of arms to show. So I don't know if y'all are in a hurry, but I'll just show you. that this is also muzzle loading, so you have to load all your ammo, your bullet and your gunpowder and everything through the muzzle. It's not like a modern day gun, and you can load it from here and everything. So how many times do you think somebody can shoot one of these guns, one of these weapons, in a minute?
I know the British can shoot it 3 times.
Yeah, actually you're right. And so the Continental Army and the militia are going to strive to be like the British. They're going to attempt to fire as many, as fast as the British can. So these two right here are called Fowlers. They're civilian weapons. So you see the difference. They're not as big, they're not as bulky. You can't put a bayonet on here. I don't know, he doesn't have a bayonet with him, but so this is something that you would see me carrying. Something that I'm coming off my farm, and this is what I hunt with. This is what I, provide meat for my family with. And okay, I've got to show up for militia duty. So this works for my militia requirements. So this is about a 20 gauge shotgun, also a smooth bore. If you look directly at the side, you see how that's smooth? Yeah. So that's something that you would have had, maybe I would have had as a farmer. And then Mr. McKenzie, who is not here, he would be carrying something like this, which is a long rifle. It is a weapon, so it is like a long range weapon, and you can, this one is his barrel it's going out, but you can look in there and see the grooves on the side of that barrel. So that's what makes this better. This makes this a more accurate weapon. With one of these, with a Bess or a Fowler, maybe you can get accuracy up to about 80 yards. So from probably like here to probably on the other side of those trees, I'm okay to shoot at somebody and I might hit them. With this, I know that if I point and click, point and the gun goes bang, and I'm going to hit them at probably 200 yards. So it's over double the accuracy of one of in comparison to a smooth bore. So, but everybody's going to be carrying something different. They're all going to be, kind of an attachment to you, but also helps you keep. You're trying to train men in line, and so you're trying to train them how to stay in line. So you use that. Yeah, exactly. You go down the line and
with $2 notes. If somebody actually takes one of those, then they have to sign this because you picked that up, you belong to me. You took my $2, therefore you belong to the Guilford Militia. That's one way to recruit. Okay? Plus, I also have various writing implements. You can use a feather quill, or you can use an 18th century mechanical pencil. They had metal nibs at the time. This one happens to be on wood, but my latest acquisition has been a bone-handled one. And it writes very nice and very fine, because if you look right here, you see how nice and fine that writing is. If I turn over here, it's kind of thick and clunky, huh? That's the difference between those two nibs right there. If I use that right there, I have to trim it every now and then because it'll get whiter than this. I like something nice and delicate, and my latest acquisition, which I just got the other day, Old Sutlers, provides that for me. Because I have to keep a journal, because being the captain, I have to do paperwork. And I have to fill out reports that I give to the colonel reviews them, make sure that everything's okay. He sends it on up to the general, and then it goes to the governor's office.